There are moments in life when darkness feels like it has the final word. Not the darkness that comes when the sun goes down, but the darkness that settles on the heart. The darkness of uncertainty, the darkness of disappointment, the darkness of grief, of fear, or not knowing what the next chapter is going to hold. Israel knew that kind of darkness all too well. For years, their existence was overshadowed by their oppression. The northern tribes, Zebulun and Naphtali, had been the first to fall under the crushing weight of Assyria. Life for them was described with one word: gloom. Their joy was stolen, their security threatened, their identity shaken. And Isaiah 9 opens with a people standing in the shadow of devastation. But right in the middle of that heaviness, Isaiah steps forward with a word that almost sounds impossible. Nevertheless, there will be no more gloom for those who are in distress. The people walking in darkness have seen a great light. Isaiah dares to announce that God is not intimidated by the dark. In fact, God does his best work in it. When Israel saw only loss, God saw a new beginning. When they felt defeated, God was preparing deliverance. When they stood surrounded by shadows, God was already speaking light. And Isaiah wants us to see this clearly. The light doesn't show up because the people finally got themselves together. The light doesn't come because the circumstances improved. The light comes because God decided to shine. Unto us a child is born. Unto us a son is given. The promise is not a program, not an army, not a political strategy. The promise is a person, a savior, a wonderful counselor when your mind is overwhelmed, a mighty God when your strength runs out, an everlasting Father when life leaves you feeling abandoned, a Prince of Peace when chaos seems to be the only language your world speaks. Isaiah is teaching us this. Light is not something we create. Light is someone we receive. And when the light comes, he doesn't just brighten our situation. He breaks yokes. He lifts burdens. He shatters the rod of the oppressor. He reveals who we are and who we can become. He turns gloom into glory, distress into deliverance, darkness into a new day. Maybe that's the word somebody needs today. You may not be able to fix everything. You may not be able to control everything. You may not be able to see everything, but the light is coming, and the light is enough. Isaiah ends with this promise that doesn't rest on human ability. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will accomplish this. In other words, God himself is invested in bringing light into your life. God himself is committed to your healing, your restoration, your future. You don't have to manufacture your own hope. You just have to make room for the light. So as we step into this overflow season, here's the invitation. Let there be light, not just around us, but in us. Not just for us, but through us. Let the light of Christ break cycles, illuminate purpose, and lead us into the fullness of what God is birthing in this season. Because when God says, let there be light, darkness doesn't get to argue. Darkness doesn't get to negotiate. Darkness doesn't get to stay. Let's overflow.